Hey friends, so I got my copy of Iron Flame, the second book in the Imperium, I think that's what it's called, series. I think there's going to be 8 books. I have a really beloved local indie bookstore that my friend works for. I put my name on the wait list like almost immediately. And if you've been following any of the hype or anything going on with Iron Flame, it's been kind of a disaster of an unveiling for this book to be published. So after how popular Fourth Wing was, it's such a mess, you guys. I just have a lot of opinions about this whole unveiling. So after Fourth Wing was published, they weren't anticipating it to be as popular as it was. It became a TikTok darling, and they couldn't keep up with requests for publishing for the book. And you know, the initial Fourth Wing book had the sprayed edges with the dragons on it, and that was nearly impossible to get. They did a second run print, and like my friend who works at this indie bookstore, they couldn't even get books, and she kept saying, no, the next printing of Fourth Wing is coming, and then it kept getting pushed back. They finally got some, and then those sold out immediately. Just, it's been wild. And then Iron Flame was not actually supposed to come out until next year, but because of how popular it was, they published it on Tuesday of this week, and lo and behold, there were production issues again because we are pushing books out for publication that probably shouldn't have been pushed out so fast. So they weren't, again, prepared. And if you follow any of that drama, indie bookstores kind of got screwed. Like, they got screwed. So a lot of indie bookstores had taken pre-orders, had been told they would receive so many books. Well, then they were told, actually, you're going to receive a lot more. So like in the instance of my friend in her local indie, she had to go down the priority list of of orders. And then she had to say, oh, well, your pre-order request came in late. You're not going to get the special edition. So she had to make phone calls to people to say, yes, you pre-ordered this, but unfortunately the publisher can't fulfill these orders. Which is just not a good look, because guess who did get all the books that they wanted? Big retailers that are online named after a river and other bookstores. One other book publishing thing before we get into the gist of this video that really bothers me is there are bonus chapters for these books, for Iron Flame. And every bonus chapter is different depending on where you buy it from, which is cool in theory. Like, I get it. There's like an indie next, so all indie bookstores get a special chapter. Barnes & Noble got one, Indigo got one, Amazon got one, I think. Like, all these different chapters. But that's like not fair to readers. Like, I want to read the whole story. I don't want to have to go buy 6 editions of a book to read the bonus chapters. So that's my rant on Iron Flame and the Fourth Wing, and how we prioritize big retailers who don't need the money over indie bookstores. And then we'll get into part 2 of my rant, I guess, because actually I have more to say. I'm gonna vlog reading Iron Flame. I have tried to read this 2 nights in a row, but we've been in like the trenches of parenting. It's just been a hard season. So I keep sitting down, and then bedtime takes like 9 hours and I don't get any reading done. So I read 2 chapters last night. On page 2, found my first grammatical error, and every page I've read, I've been like, that should have been edited out. There's just so much writing in here. Now, let me preface this to say this book is super fun. I enjoy every minute of it. Like, I'm gonna eat it. It's like candy. It's brain candy. It's super fun. But when we rush books to publication, we don't go through the full editing process. And there are so many things where I'm like, just the writing is so bad that it should have been edited out. Like, I don't know. There's just, let me see if I can find what like drove me nuts. Right away. There is a chapter, she's sleeping again, which isn't odd. After she uses up all her energy to stop time, and after what happened in Resson, she probably needs to sleep for the next week or so. It should have been after she used up all her energy to stop time, and after what happened in Resson, she probably needed to sleep for the next week or so. Like, the tenses are wrong. And there's a couple parts where like just the editing, I'm like, come on, that sounds juvenile and stupid and should have been taken out. So I'm just a little frustrated that they rush it to publication, couldn't fulfill orders, and then the editing is like truly not great. So it just bugs me, because this book does have a lot of potential, and I think it stinks for the author. I mean, at the same time, she's making a ton of money, so it probably doesn't stink for the author, but I just wish that a little more thought and care had gone into the publication and like production of this, so that we as readers got the best experience, bookstores got the best experience, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna read this as a vlog. I'm gonna have fun with it. I know I am. I'm just a little frustrated right now. Okay. I am about 150 pages into Iron Flame, and it is super fun. I'm having a blast reading it. I still stand with the fact that the editing is not good. And so it's a little distracting at times. But I'm loving it. I think Violet is amazing, and I love what I had to read a synopsis to like remember what happened in Fourth Wing, but I do really love this like dynamic between her and Xaden, where Xaden has graduated and they're getting kind of screwed by the staff at the academy at Basgarath, and so they can only see each other like once a week, which the dragon bonds and stuff kind of makes that really hard on all of them. So that dynamic is really fun, and I'm liking that we're back at the school. It's kind of giving me like Harry Potter vibes, like we're back at school, but there's more going on in the background. So I'm excited. I would love to finish this weekend, and yeah, we'll see. So I'm on a quest to find Fourth Wing Special Edition. I drove to 2 stores yesterday that said they had it in stock, Barnes & Noble, and they didn't actually have it in stock. They were in stock, but they were on hold for other people, so they couldn't sell it to us, which then I'm like, don't let your website report that it's available for purchase, but whatever, it's fine. I found a local bookstore that has it, and so I'll get that to match my copy because my husband wants to read it, and I think he would like it. And I want my special edition to match Iron Flame. Also, update on Iron Flame. I am like on page 430 and I'm totally sucked in. Writing's still not great, but it's getting better. I feel like there's clear chunks in this book where you can tell they didn't edit it very well. And then there's chunks where you can tell it's gone through a full editing process. I am, like 2/3 to 3/4 done with it, and I'm really into it. I do kind of wish I had reread Fourth Wing first because there's a lot of little details I forget about. And a lot of it is like the map, locations on the map and where things are at. And then just some of the like battle scenes from the first book that were like very fast paced and stuff. I kind of am scared because I've seen reaction videos to the ending of the book and I'm like terrified to go and finish the book because I know I'm gonna be wrecked probably. So I will do my like live reaction on this video. I am really liking kind of like just the changes in setting for this book is more like, it's not just at the War College, which I really like, and that they've introduced new characters. Like this is gonna be a 5-book series and I'm just really curious to see where this story goes. And okay, 200-ish pages left, I think, maybe 100, I don't know. Okay, I finished it. I'm giving it 3 stars, which for me is a good book. This book should have ended at part 1. I feel like the first half of the book was developed really well. There were still weird pacing issues and the editing was horrible. Like I think that's something that I'm just gonna stand by through this whole vlog, is the editing was so bad. But the first half was like decent. There were some characters that I loathed and like felt visceral about. I thought the story was built up really well. The back half was very fast paced, the part 2. And at a point I was reading fast because I wanted to avoid spoilers. I wanted to finish the book. I wanted to see what everyone was reacting to. but there was just so much put into the second half of the book, and it felt like a different book from the first, which is why I think that it should have been cut in half, and then it would have gone through a better editing process. I think 200 pages of this book could have been cut out, because I don't know how many times we needed to have the miscommunication trope, and there was just like so many sentences where I'm like, that's just dumb, that could be edited out. And Darna and Taryn made the book. They were amazing, and I'm keeping this spoiler free, but the back half, it was just so rushed. I think she could have put out a better book for like how much happened and all the details in this book. I think she could have put out a better book had she broken this out into 2 books and just really developed it more. And in Fourth Wing was the same too. Like, it's just a very rushed, fast-paced book with not a lot of details, but it's so fun. So like, I'm saying this, it sounds like I'm ragging on the book. I had so much fun reading it. Like, they're really good books. I get why. They're fun books to read. I don't think I'd say like really good books. They're not going to go down in like literature. And I'm just going to say this, I refuse to accept the ending. I'm not happy with it. I just don't like it at all. I did not enjoy any aspect of that ending, and I have theories. If you would like to discuss about those theories, you can message me on Instagram at Essentially Booked and we can talk, because I have theories about like some of the stuff in the next book. But all in all, it was fun. I had a blast reading it. Hated the ending, hated the editing, but the story was really fun. That's what I got for you. So thank you for hanging out with me during this like disaster of a reading experience, because it was very stressful. Until the next video. Bye, friends.